Yo, you know the deal. You nothing change. Judah Ben. Yo. Here we go again to open up the show again. Suckers want to copy, so they try to wonder where we been. It's Thomas from the Bronx talking boxing, football and baseball and sometimes wrestling. Plus he all about the dough like Fosse. You might even catch him live, be on IG. You know he still rock with sock, even when the whole block is hot, chillin' in the cut like a doc. A lot of cowards, they act fake in a spot like they taking a spot, but imitators a pock. Tommy dropping out gems like a treasure chest. Every other week you might catch him with a special guest. Like the champ Keith Cologne, he's a regular. Took pics with Bud, so you better show him love. BVO and D-Free playing safety. They blocking all nonsense. Sonny, change your conscience. Yeah. You already know the deal. Judah Ben. Tell a friend to tell a friend, son. Tommy from the Bronx. BVO, D-Free, Socrates in the spot. East St. Louis.
Yeah, buddy!
Champ of the world. Shout out to TD Sports. TD Sports. Let's go, chat.
What's good? What's good, man? Salute to everybody in the building. Everybody coming through. I see the Maniac is in the building. Yo, Maniac, if you want to come up, come up. Not going to be here long. We're going to do another live right after this. Me and BVO are going to do a live, and we got a lot of topics we're going to be talking about over there. But this one, just going to freestyle a little bit. Just talk about some things that have been, come to mind. Some hot topics, in my opinion, at least for me. I haven't been on live talking boxing for a while. We've been talking football. I'm in Super Bowl mode, right? My Seattle Seahawks won the Super Bowl, so I'm a little bit into like the Seahawk mode, Seahawk celebration. Watched the parade yesterday. It was good to see and stuff like that. But I wanted to drop some videos. I didn't get a chance to do it, so we could talk about it today. I put the topics in the description. Y'all want to come up, we could talk about it. Have a little brief conversation before we go live again. And we got a few special guests coming up as well in the live with my man BVO Boxing. But yeah, man, I want to talk a little bit about Xander Zayas, right? A couple weeks ago, Xander Zayas, defended his WBO, super welterweight title and gained a WBA super welterweight title in a unification bout against Abbas Barul. And I thought he had a great performance. I mean, let's not say great. Let's say very good. I thought he looked good boxing. I thought I think it was a split decision they called it. Can't remember what they called it, but I thought it should have been unanimous. I thought he definitely won the fight. I thought Barul had a good, last round. He looked good in the last round, but overall, I thought Xander boxed very well. And the reason why I bring him up is that, I support the Puerto Rican fighters, the Puerto Rican boxers, and stuff like that. But I like to keep it real. And when he won the title back in July here in New York City, I was a little critical of him. I thought he won the fight, but I thought he held on a little bit too much. I thought he was holding a little bit, kind of running a little too much. I criticized him. People thought I was very critical of him. But the reason why I bring this up is that I try to be fair across the board, no matter if I like you, or not, if I'm a fan or not. I try to tell it what it is. But recently I've been seeing stuff in, certain videos and certain lives and, in the chats, people hating on Xander saying, he's taking only easy fights. But I don't, those people that say this, I don't hear them or see them, right? Because see them typing or hear them in their videos talk about the fights that Xander's been trying to make. I don't hear them talking about the fights he turned down as far as easy fights, and nobody talks about that he was about to fight. They were trying to set him up to fight Santillan, the guy that lost to Brian Norman Jr. at welterweight. They were trying to set him up to fight in Puerto Rico, to fight Xander Zayas, and he turned that down. He said, I want a tough fight, for my first fight, homecoming in Puerto Rico. Now, mind you, the home field advantage people talk about. There's a lot of pressure fighting at home. So I don't necessarily, go by that. You know what I'm saying? But either way, he could have took an easy, a layup, a cupcake. And he didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? And nobody talks about that. And as in regards to him fighting the easy fighters. Listen, Abaspur was a world champion. The WBA 154 super welterweight champion. You can't take that away from him. He fought a guy in Tellez that they were trying to build. They were trying to build this guy up as a big fighter in the 154 division, which I think is one of the better divisions in the sport of boxing. And he lost. He lost. If he wins the fight, maybe it's Xander and him in the Garden. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's them two. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe it's them two in Puerto Rico. And that goes for the same guy as Charles Conway. Charles Conway, everybody was talking about him. And let me go back. Let me retrace. I'm not going to say everybody, but I've heard a lot of people talk about Charles Conway. You know what I'm saying? I heard a lot of people mention him and how, he was good and how he was the next guy up, but he lost. You know what I'm saying? And Xander fought the guy that beat him. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to say is that we got to stop discrediting fighters and start calling it for what it is. You know what I'm saying? You got other fighters who people say that are good, and I think they're very good too. I will never discredit Boots Ennis. I'll never discredit Virgil Ortiz. I think those are top two fighters, right? Boots just got there to 154. Virgil Ortiz has been there for a little bit longer, right? And Virgil Ortiz took a couple of tune-ups before, fighting Lubin and Boacek. You know what I'm saying? So listen, and he's not a world champion. He's an interim. You know what I'm saying? And I think they get all the credit they deserve, but I just don't like the Xander slander. So with that being said, D Free, first one up. I appreciate you. My co-host is in the building, man. How you doing, D Free?
I'm chilling. What's going on with you, man?
Not much. Just talking a little boxing, freestyling. Just on it, just got some topics up there from the that I put in the description. And if you want to talk about anything, we could talk about it. You know what I'm saying? And I think we see eye to eye as when it comes to Xander. But if you want to talk about other topics as well, other fighters, just want to have a good old boxing conversation without any debates or any cursing and screaming like people like to do in other channels and stuff like that. So,
I mean, according to what everybody has been telling me, and they keep saying I'm wrong. I'm from saying it. I keep saying belts don't matter, but everybody keeps telling me that belts matter. So if the belts matter, then that means Xander Zayas is the man at 54 right now. He's the only unified champion. If everybody tell me that belts matter, you had one guy drop his belt that he was supposed to fight because he was a mandatory. You had the other guy that they got ranked number one chose not to fight him. So I gotta say Xander is the man at 54 right now.
I have to say the same thing, and maybe he's the man at the moment, and there's some other good quality fighters in there as well. But at the moment right now, you got to list him as the man. The guy's 22, 23 years old. I think he just turned 23 years old. And he's got two of the titles right now. That's not to say that he's the best guy, the best fighter right now. But as far as, on paper, right, he's kind of the man, like you said. He's got two titles. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if he was to fight Boots next week, I mean, we would probably both favor Boots. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean that Xander's going to lose the fight. That doesn't, because what happens in the ring is what matters. You know what I'm saying? And we're not going to know who is the man until, actual fights do take place and do happen. So I just don't like the discredit. The discrediting fighters, I don't like it at all. We can shit on fighters, and call them ducks and this and this and that. But when it comes into that square circle and what they did or what they've been doing, we got to give them full credit. You know what I'm saying? So that's my stance on that.
I would love to see Xander in one of these fights because everybody keeps saying, "Oh, he hasn't fought anybody." Well, he hasn't had the opportunity to fight anybody. So, I mean, the two opportunities that he did have a chance to fight a notable guy, they both chose to go fight somebody else. One person dropped the belt, another person went to go fight somebody who was coming off a loss. So, I mean, you can't put that on Xander's eyes. You can tell, oh, he hasn't fought anybody. Well, he hasn't been given the opportunity to fight anybody.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to the panel, my man. My man, Crush the Legend is in the building, man. What's good with you, Crush?
Hey, salute Tommy, salute D Free. Real quick, just what D Free just said, and this is what kills me. And a lot of these guys, they said on their channels and everything, and even people in the chat, you hear, well, this person hasn't fought anyone. Well, I think they should pay attention closely to what they're saying, because that means the same thing. That person hasn't fought them either. So it's like they try to give someone, they try to downplay somebody for not fighting someone, but saying, like, someone trying to give ghostly credit because of whatever the case may be. But he hasn't fought him. He hasn't fought him either. It's the same thing. So they try to keep pointing it out on one guy, and the other guys are not really trying to make any initiative to actually make the fight happen. We've seen what happened when guys really wanted fights to happen. They really went beyond and through to make it happen. And a lot of times, a lot of these guys that they want to see fight certain guys, they're not doing that. Mm-hmm. And I think the boxing fans need to start to mature with their boxing minds now, because it's sickening. It's sickening, man. And I get everything you coming from. It's getting tired.
I look at they were like, oh, was Virgil Ortiz this, Virgil Ortiz that. I'm like, well, if you really look at the resume, Virgil Ortiz hasn't fought anybody better than the competition that Xander fought. Everybody talking about Boachek and Magnumov. Nobody was talking about Magnumov until he fought Bud, which he lost. Nobody has spoke about Magnumov until he fought Bud, which he lost. So Boachek's best fight was against Brandon Adams, which he lost. So you bring up two guys that have lost their notable fights. Nobody was talking about these guys prior to them fighting Virgil or fighting Bud. So how is the level of competition that Virgil fought better than the level of competition that Xander fought? He hasn't fought anybody either.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, Virgil's been there a little bit longer. I believe he's had 5 fights now, because I think he had 2 tune-ups before Boachek in a fight, and that Boachek fight was very close. I thought he lost that fight, right? And then he fought Majimov, and then he fought Lubin. So he said 5 fights at 154. I mean, somebody could correct me on that if I'm wrong, but I believe he had two kind of warm-ups, 2 kind of tune-ups before the Boachek fight. I could be wrong, but it might be 1. But
no, I think you spot on, Tommy, when it comes to that, because I was thinking 5 or 6. I think you're more right with 5.
Yeah,
I guess that means 6. I'm waiting for the next opponent. I guess me saying without saying. But I like Xander Zayas. I don't see a reason for people to be too critical of him. I don't see a reason for people to oversaturate the way he really is. And not saying that you are, but we know we have guys that do that in the sport of boxing. They just can't help themselves. And us as content creators and also studies of the sport, we gotta understand we dealing with some minds that's fans of these boxers that come from some weird, strange places, people. Mm-hmm. So I had to start learning that, and they just bringing that type of mindset into the conversation in the world of boxing. But Xander is a good fighter. I like him a whole lot. This was the guy that I was saying that was going to be the face of Latino boxing. This was the guy I was saying before, the monster, and he's definitely got space to do it. I think he's going to be probably one of the most successful out of the ones that's doing it now. But I like him. He got a high potential career, and I can't wait for the man to get in there and challenge himself. I don't have bad to say about that young man.
He fought Virgil had fought 2 fights before the Boychuk fight. He fought Frederick Lawson and he fought Thomas Delome.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, that's what. Because the Lawson fight, apparently the guy had like some condition or something, right? And that was the fight that I think Tony Weeks was referencing or something like that. They stopped it like real quick.
Tony
But the
Weeks
guy
was
had
the referee.
some
Tony Weeks
condition.
was the referee.
Say it again. I'm sorry.
No, I was saying Tony Weeks was the referee in that fight, and he stopped Lawson in the first round.
Yeah, it was something weird because I felt like the guy had a condition, and Tony Weeks hasn't had a good run at that time. Reffing fights, so something weird. And then he fought Delorme, who's really a little guy, right? He's a guy from like 140 that moved up to 154. So and a guy, and I understand maybe one tune-up because I think he has some injuries, and I know people criticize Boots for the tune-up with Lima, and I'm included in that. But to be fair, you got to criticize Virgil if you're going to criticize Boots for doing it, because in my opinion, it's not that it was wrong. I just think a guy that has as many fights as Boots and as many fights as Virgil, they don't need tune-ups. They could get up in there, you know what I'm saying? And then I think it all matters on what they do next. So right now, Boots is trying to get a fight with Virgil. You know what I'm saying? If that fight happens, that's a great fight. I think both guys are really, really good fighters. And the guy that wins that fight is going to be the man at 154, and they're not even going to have a title. You know what I'm saying? So
hey, Tommy, real quick, because you said something. It's a small pet peeve to me, but I really laugh at it when people talk about tune-ups. And I just say this just from a fan standpoint. Who am I to say if it's wrong or right for them to take a tune-up? That's their damn career. True. We're not getting in there taking these risks. So I don't think we should be critical of these guys when they say they want to take a tune-up. But then people was all over Errol Spence for not taking tune-ups. Which way it's going to be. But I don't think you should be critical on these guys when they feel as though they need to take a tune-up, because even though you may feel as though they ready, what you think and what I think don't matter when it comes to these guys getting in the ring. So I'm never critical on that, because that's there. You want to make sure you at your best when you go stepping your game up. That's what they're supposed to do. Some guys have to do that. And then you got some fighters that's just willing to go ahead and they just always ready. But we can't get spoiled because we see a handful of guys that's like that. We can't expect the entire boxing to be like that. Then it wouldn't be interesting. You know what I mean? But see, there's the thing with the tune-up thing. Okay, so these guys take a tune-up. Okay, and then you took this tune-up, you get prepared, and then you still get a spanking or whatever. Hey, that just makes more seasoning to add on to the meat when we put them on the grill. So that's on them. But so I won't criticize guys about taking tune-ups, but I criticize guys about ducking. I ain't got a problem with a guy taking a tune-up. I got a problem with these dudes ducking in this oversaturated mess, acting like they got fights lined up, and all of a sudden everybody just want to go for the big money. They don't want to compete fully through a weight class to really show who's the best is the best, because that's really inconclusive right now in the sport of boxing, and people is arguing and debating about, got their veins popping out their neck and their forehead about who's the daggone best. It's inconclusive. They ain't got in there with each other. So I'm going to pass the mic on that.
Yo, I feel that's a great point, and this is why I want to have discussions like this, because you see, like we got to respect each other's opinion, and the way you put it makes a lot of sense. You know what I'm saying? So, like I say, as a fan, I personally don't like it, but I will say that, all right, let's see what you do next now. So, like now, if he goes ahead and fights Boots or fights for a world title, then it's like, who cares? He did the smart move. He got himself tuned up, and you know what? He made this big fight, and then if he wins, it's even better. Right? Because now he's a world champion, or now he just beat, a top dog. You know what I'm saying? So, like, when you put it that way, it makes a lot of sense. And I definitely respect it. And then you use the word spoiled. And I'm 1,000% agree with you on that. We are, we do get spoiled as fans sometimes, just like these fighters get spoiled too at times, right? So we do get spoiled at times because, and spoiled, and then what's the other word? Selfish is another word, right? Because it's like, because it's all about me, what I want to see. You know what I'm saying? So, and then I saw this fight, and now I want to see this fight. So it all makes sense as from the fans' point of view. So I definitely agree with you, and it makes a whole lot of sense. You know what I'm saying? And just to say, like, other content creators, they go out and they crucify people and they yell at people just for having their opinion. on what they want to see. And I think that's wrong. And you brought up a lot of good points about that. And that's what I want to do. I want to have these discussions and not, chop anybody's head off for it. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, we got a guy that I want to chop his head off at times because he be controversial. But he's my man. He's my man's in them though. And I got love for him. That's my man, Marky Dan, 1, 2, 3. Can you count high to 1, 2, 3, Marky?
Shout out to the young Marky Dan.
Can you
What's
count
up,
how many
Marky Dan?
chopped cheeses you had today, boy?
None today. I might get one.
There you
tomorrow.
go. Well, there you go. How y'all doing?
What's happening, Marky Dan? I'm good, man.
Salute to Crush the OG. I feel like I've been a minute since me and Crush been on the same panel. Salute to Crush the OG and DeFrilio.
Yes, sir.
So what do you have on this topic? We're talking a little Xander Zayas and the fact that I feel like he's getting slandered a little too much. But what's your opinion on Xander?
What do you mean he's getting slammed?
A lot of people are saying that he's fought nobody, he's fought cupcakes, and
what?
He's been given titles. That kind of talk I've been seeing on other videos and in chats and stuff like that.
Are you kidding me? Well, I mean, listen, opinions are like buttholes. Everybody got one. I mean, that's just the reality of that. I don't understand that. This is a dude that is 23 years old. I said it the other day. Xander is moving like an old school fighter. He's 23 years old, and he's not ducking no smoke. He picked up a title. Say whatever you will. It was a vacant, but whatever. He picked up a title and went straight for another title. And as soon as he got that title, he's calling for another title against Josh Kelly, who went in there and beat the monster, the boogeyman killer on Bakram. So, I mean, I don't know, like boxing fans really just get on my nerves, bro. Like, boxing fans just ruin everything. They just ruin everything, bro. I don't know what to say about those. What I will say is Xander, I enjoy the kid. He's extremely entertaining. He always comes to fight, always comes to give his best performance. And he's not, based on his actions and based on his words, he ain't ducking no smoke. So I don't know where those narratives are coming from. I don't watch those channels, and I'm probably not going to watch those channels because they don't know what the hell they're talking about.
I just look at how Xander Zayas is moving. When you look at what Xander Zayas did, he's only been fighting since 2019. That's when his first pro debut was. 2019.
18 years old.
At 18 years old. You got guys like Jerome Bucenis, guys like Virgil Ortiz, guys like I'm trying to think who else. Who else came in before him. There's a few guys that came in before he started as a pro fighter. That either they never fought for a title or it took them a longer time to get a title. This man got a title. Virgil was fighting 3 years before Xander Zayas had fought.
Exactly. 3 weight classes Virgil Ortiz been through, free.
I mean, Virgil started in 2016. Xander started in 2019. Xander Zayas is a unified champion at 54. Virgil has never fought for a title.
Josh Kelly started in 2017. He was an Olympian.
Yes, Josh Kelly started in 2017. Was an Olympian. He became a title holder. So I'm just looking at when people say, okay, these guys haven't fought anybody, or they haven't. You had this guy literally had 2 opportunities to fight somebody, and both guys decided to go fight somebody else. Virgil went to go fight somebody else, and Sebastian Fedor went to go fight somebody else. That's the reason why he became a title holder in the beginning, because Sebastian Fedor dropped the title to go fight Keith Thurman. He was his mandatory. He dropped the title to go fight Keith Thurman. He defended his title against Garcia, and then he said, "You know what? I want to go for another title." And he made the fight with Abbas, and he got his unification. So I don't understand why people say, "Oh, he ain't doing this, he ain't doing that." Well, he can only fight the guys that's willing to get in the ring with him. This is what I keep saying about Juwan Bucinus, what I say about Antoine. A lot of these guys that people say, "Oh, they're not fighting anybody." Well, they can only fight who's willing to get in the ring with them. They can't force anybody to get in the ring with them. They could say, "Hey, I want this fight," and we could send an offer or ask for an offer. But if it doesn't happen, it's not on the fighter that wants to fight. It's on the fighters that's not willing to get in the ring. So I mean, I don't know what you want Xander Zayas to do. He's fighting the guys he's supposed to be fighting.
All right, yeah, I agree. Welcome to the panel. I got Blue Hustle Man and my man Neverfold Sports. I'll let Neverfold go first because I know I think he's an anti-Xander fan. So let him speak on.
Let me just say this quick, Tommy, before you let the other folks go. These folks are just mad. Virgil is out here picking up titles, taking them off of people. They're mad. He's headlining shows, bringing out tens of thousands of people in Puerto Rico. He's a star. He don't necessarily need the Turkman to make money out here, and he's an icon now. They had him out there at the Super Bowl halftime show. It's just straight hate. That's all I'm gonna call it for what it is. It's hate. But go ahead, brother.
Neverfold.
Shout out to Prize Fighter.
What's the topic?
Oh, right now we're talking about Xander and all the slander that Xander's been getting from fans and YouTube channels and people in the chats and stuff like that.
I mean, like I've been saying before, Xander, he's improving, he's getting better. It's all the overhyping, but as long as he keep, standing on business and trying to fight the best, and hopefully we'll see him where he should be at. But for now, he doing what he should be doing. So I'm not going to keep saying the same things I've been said before. So I'm just looking forward to the future, buddy, bro.
Okay. And my man Blue Hustle Man, what's good with you, man?
What's good with your TD? What's up with your Marky? What's up, D Free? What's up,
Blue.
OG? My God, Crush, OG Crush.
What's up, Blue?
What up, everybody? Man, what's up? Never fold. But I wanted to ask you something. TD, you ain't from Seattle, are you? You ain't a Washingtonian, are you?
No. I'm from the Bronx.
Nah, he a chopped cheese boy from New York.
I've been a Seahawks fan since the '90s, since the early '90s.
Okay, because your brother right here, man. I stay out in Washington State, but I'm a Raider. It's Raider Nation with me. You dig?
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So it's safe to say you didn't go to the parade.
Nah, I didn't go to that, man. You know what I'm saying? We had it all day. It was all day in Seattle too, man. Everybody was complaining.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Streets was locked down.
Y'all gonna ruin Fernando Mendoza. It's a shame.
Hey, it's all good, man. It's all good. Nothing but love. No, I'm just asking you that, man. That's all it was, brother.
Okay.
But no, I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there, man. Xander Zayas, he's a good fighter, man. But I just see that he can work. Like he's still, to me, green a little bit. He got some things to work on, and he can become a great fighter. You know what I mean? As long as he's led properly. So when people say things like, he's washed, but right now, this is my personal opinion. I got to be honest, man. I think that, some of the other champions look at him as fools. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, especially when Devin saw that he had 2 belts, he was like, he got 2 belts. You see what I'm saying? To me, like, when you make a comment like that, and then his dad was like, yeah, he's food. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's like, they saying that he's easy work. That's like a cherry pick in my eyes. You see what I'm saying? So, I don't know. It's just.
But then at the same time, it could just be all talk, too,
correct,
right?
Correct.
Because
it could be
unless the fight
chasing.
really gets made, then what, right?
I mean,
yeah, we call that cloud chasing. Am I right? Am I right though?
Yeah.
Say it again.
I said we call that cloud chasing.
Yeah, it could be, and it could be, the high, a form of flattery, like, and like they could be saying that, but they say he got 2 belts, like. If you read between the lines a little bit, it's like,
you're right.
2 titles, so let me go title hunt, and because that's his gimmick. He's Debo Dev, he's the title collector, so he's going along with the gimmick. So it could be some form of flattery or respect too at the same time.
I got you. That makes sense. Most definitely, I can't knock that. That's why I'm the type of person where when it comes to people's opinion, man, I'm gonna shoot them in the foot just
Yeah,
because they have an opinion. You know what I mean? Because everybody got an opinion, so it is what it is. You got to respect it. So you know,
yeah,
we can agree just to disagree in
yeah.
that
And with that being
situation.
said, that's the reason why I wanted to do this short live was to really talk about like we can have real good boxing conversations, and we don't have
Mm-hmm.
to be disrespectful. Like a lot of people have
Facts.
their channels and they all talk about like they know boxing and you got to be at a certain level to talk boxing. Well, I could be a dick if I want to and be like, yo, you got to show me proof that you've at least been to like 1 or 2 fights, or show me proof you buy the pay-per-views if you want to talk to me. I could be a dick too, bro. You
Dog,
know what I'm
Tim,
saying? I don't do that. You know what I'm
yo,
saying?
TD,
Hey,
So
hey,
TD,
talk to him. Talk
you
to
know what I'm
him,
saying?
TD.
So I don't do that.
yo,
But guys,
TD.
listen up. It was going to be a short live. I really appreciate everybody coming up. I'm cutting it short. We're going to go live again. So come back to the channel. We're going to go live with BVO. We're gonna multi stream to multiple channels. So come back. I'm gonna see BVO. We dropped the link. We can open up the discussion, but we got some guests that are going to come on as well, and we'll continue to talk. If not tomorrow night, I'm gonna go live and open up the panel again, and we're gonna talk some more. You feel me? So, but definitely
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
everybody. Anybody got any final thoughts? Say it
Salutes
now.
to
And
Chop
we out.
Cheesy. Salutes to Chop Cheesy,
So,
Tommy.
yo,
Salutes to them
TD.
them dirty birds. Salute to them Seahawks getting that ring. They deserve it, man. They deserve it. But Chop Cheesy's a decent dude, man. Smash that like button.
Yo,
Subscribe to TD Sports. Good.
yo, TD. So,
Yeah.
what I got to say, what you just said is this, bro. You made a great point. Them type of guys that's always talking crazy, they don't be outside. They not buying no pay-per-views. They never been to no fights. They're not supporting the sport of boxing, bro.
And that is my number one point, bro. As far as all these guys that talk about support and this and that, these guys are man fans and they only support like one fighter. They're not real boxing supporters, and it's okay to be a fan of certain fighters. Like I have multiple fighters that I like, and I don't like some of these guys' moves and stuff like that, but I still support what they do inside the ring. And I think we need to speak about that a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? That's just my mindset on everything.
Right.
Crush, any
Hey,
closing
great.
words, Crush?
Real quick, man. People, get y'all boxing minds right. I'm praying for y'all,
Facts.
but
Facts.
y'all need some healthy boxing talk. We right here for y'all. But get it together. I'll see you in a
Absolutely.
few minutes, Tommy.
All right, you got it, bro. I appreciate you guys coming up. Blue Hustle Man, appreciate you coming up as well, bro.
right,
But we're gonna be live in about
Great.
a
Yeah,
minute.
man. You already know. Hey,
All right,
great live, man. On to the next one, brother. Appreciate you, brother.
all right, no doubt. Be safe, everyone.
All right. All right. Peace.